Here are some key points to remember. Dividing by a decimal results in a larger number than you started with. This is kind of counterintuitive because normally when we divide something, when we're dividing whole numbers by other whole numbers, we get smaller numbers at the other end. But when you're dividing by a decimal by something less than 1, you will get a bigger number out the other side. The larger the number you divide by, the smaller the quotient. So if you've got 10 cookies divided by 2 people, you get 5. If you've got 10 cookies and you divide them by 5 people, you only get 2 cookies, right? So the bigger the number you're dividing by, the smaller the quotient, the smaller the answer you get. Remember that 10 divided by 2 equals 5, so that means that you can go the other way around and say that 10 divided by 5 is equal to 2. The same is true when working with decimals. Any division question can also be restated as a multiplication problem. Dividing by 1/10 is the same as multiplying by 10. And similarly, dividing by 4/10 or 4/10 is the same as multiplying by 10 and then dividing by 4. When you're doing long division with decimals, supposing we had 124 divided by 0.2. If we're going to write it out in our traditional notation, we'd say 124 divided by 0.2. We have a really hard time working with a decimal place over here. So what we do is we move the decimal there from one position to the other. So by doing that, effectively, we change this from 0.2 to be 2. But if we're going to do that, that means we have to add another 0 here. Once we've done that, now it's just traditional method. 6 times 2 is 12, 0 remainder, bring down the 4. 2 times 2 is 4. Subtracting 0 remainder, 0, 0. So 1240 divided by 2 is 620, which is the same answer for 124 divided by 0.2. So notice we had a smaller number, we got a bigger number at the end. That's what we expect when we're dividing by a decimal. Now what if we had 124 divided by 0.25? Well, let's write it up the same, 124 divided by 0.25. This time we need to move the decimal place 2 positions. If we're moving the decimal place 2 positions, we have to add 2 zeros. So now we're saying 25 into 12,400. We can go ahead and do that. 25 into 124 goes 4 times. Subtracting 25 into 240 goes 9 times. 150 goes 6 times. Now if you think about this, if we compare these two answers, so again we've got the 124 being divided by a fraction, being divided by a decimal, gives us a larger number, so that makes sense. And now if we look at these two numbers, we compare them, we're dividing here by a bigger number than here, so it makes sense that because we divided by a bigger number, the quotient, the result that we got on the other side, is going to be smaller than what we had previously. All of our checks for intuition make sense.